Kansas. All right. All right. As more folks join, my name is Mika Sissonen. I am on the product marketing team for ServiceNow Impact, which this webinar is focused on today. And we are going to get started right now. And before we start, I just want to go over a couple of housekeeping items first. First of all, I do need to mention the safe harbor notice. This presentation may contain forward-looking statements that reflect the current beliefs of ServiceNow and are based on current information available. These forward-looking statements should not be relied upon in making purchasing decisions. And also, I want to mention today's session is a part of our Live on ServiceNow series, which is a curated event series that connects you with ServiceNow experts and peers that can help you deploy your products and achieve value faster. So we do hope you join us again at another webinar or one of our 360 exchanges. You can see the schedule by scanning the QR code that you see on the screen or using the link in the chat that I believe is just on right now. Also, a few more housekeeping items. Before we begin, I would love for you to ask questions. We will reserve a time at the end of the presentation for questions and answers or Q&A. Please use that Q&A feature within Zoom instead of the regular chat to ask questions throughout the session. So it's really helpful because we can actually answer the questions directly in the Q&A, and they're kind of sequestered from the rest of the chat, which can sometimes be a little bit distracting. This session will also be recorded and shared on the ServiceNow community after we're done. Then third, feel free to head over to that Impact Product Hub on the community anytime to engage with our experts, ask questions, see the latest innovations, and look for other upcoming events. And finally, look out for a survey following the session. We would love to hear your thoughts on how it went. So I believe this is the time. Let's see, what are we sharing right now? Oh, right, the poll is after. So perfect. My name is Mika, as I mentioned. I've also got my colleague Erich from Forrester and Matt from ServiceNow on the call. Erich and Matt, I would love for both of you to just quickly say hi right now, introduce yourselves before we bring you back on later for each of your segments.
Good day, everyone. It's Erich Desai. I am a senior consultant with Forrester Consulting, and I am actually coming to you guys from the South Shore of Boston today.
And Matt? Oh, have we lost Matt?
Let's see him.
Tricia, if you want to just check on Matt, maybe via Teams or something else, we will let him introduce himself when he gets back on. So then now we have a poll question before we start. We would love to ask you guys on the call, how do you track the value you are receiving from ServiceNow? We've got a few different options here. Do you have formal metrics and dashboards? Do you just sometimes go with a gut feeling about the value you're receiving? Do you have manually generated reports? Or do you not have any good tracking mechanism in place at all? Would love to see what you're currently doing, since tracking value is really at the heart of what Impact does. So right now I'm seeing, I'm not sure if you guys see the live results, but I do. I'm seeing about 75% of respondents are saying we do not have good tracking mechanisms in place for tracking the value of ServiceNow. Fortunately, I see 0%. Nobody is using gut feeling. Great. That is 2024. Nobody should be relying on gut feeling. There is lots and lots of data out there. And then roughly split between manually generated reports and formal metrics and dashboards as well. Great results here. So I think no formal, we don't have a good tracking mechanism in place right now is the winner, which is exactly why we're here today. So I will just share that with results. And I think we will close out the poll. Tricia, I will let you do that if that works. Oh, no, I think it's done. Perfect. All right, so the product we are talking about today is Impact, ServiceNow Impact. And since it looks like a good number, you don't actually have that tracking mechanism in place to track value from ServiceNow, or if you're going off gut feel, which I hope you're not, it is my pleasure to introduce you to ServiceNow Impact today. And before Erich from Forrester talks about the benefits of using Impact that our customers have seen, Let me just mention kind of what it is if you haven't heard about it and explain a few things that are in it. So Impact is what we call a value acceleration solution that is designed to maximize your investment with ServiceNow. It's built right on the Now platform itself, so we're kind of eating our own dog food here, and it combines predictive software but with human ingenuity to keep your platform healthy and speed your time to value. It offers you personalized insights and recommendations, gives you value tracking, industry benchmarking, best practices content, learning, and technical support, all centralized in a beautiful experience designed for you. You can think of it kind of as a one-stop shop for everything that will help you have success with your ServiceNow implementation and adoption. With Impact, we think we've created a new category of software called value acceleration software. What does that mean exactly? Well, it's well known that the large majority of software as a service investments do fail to deliver a good return on investment. So we design Impact to accelerate the value you, our customers, can realize on your investments in ServiceNow by providing you with tools, guidance, and insights to meet your desired business outcomes. And key parts of Impact, which Matt will be going over in his demo, include integrated training, accelerators that will help you implement and adopt ServiceNow products, and a platform health tool called Instance Observer. Instance Observer is an observability tool that gives you rich data and insights on your instance performance and health. So Impact is something that really never existed before to this degree in a single pane of glass. At the end of the webinar, after Erich from Forrester speaks, Matt will do that quick Impact product demo for those of you who haven't seen it yet, and then we will close with time for Q&A. At this moment, I will pass it over to Erich for his explanation of how what the total economic impact of ServiceNow Forrester study was and what the results were. Thank you, Erich.
Thank you, Mika. Thanks for that great overview. Good day, everyone. As I'm excited to be here. My name is Erich Desai, which I said earlier, and I am a consultant with Forrester's Total Economic Impact team, which is part of Forrester Consulting. Maybe move on to the disclosure slide, Mika. And yeah, there we go. So I was the lead consultant on the study, and I collaborated with our analyst, Julie Moore, along with the ServiceNow team. Before we get into the results of the study, I do want to pause for some quick disclosures from our side. These results that I'm sharing with you are an abridged version of the full case study, which was commissioned by ServiceNow and delivered by us. I believe you can access it through the ServiceNow Impact website. I'll leave that broadly. And I should mention that the customer names were provided by ServiceNow. However, ServiceNow was not on the calls when we conducted these interviews. Furthermore, Forrester maintained editorial control over the study. And while this was a collaborative effort, there's no doubt, ServiceNow could not change any of the metrics or the findings. So having said that, what is the TEI? Next slide, please, Mika. It is a total economic impact study. Companies have been coming to Forrester for over a decade to get an independent confirmation of what they're hearing from the customers on the benefits. And I think what's unique also is our studies go beyond the total cost of ownership or quantification of benefits to share the journey of the customers and what we call the voice of the customer. In terms of process, so again, I'm not going to try and make everyone an expert on the TEI process, but it's important to understand how we went about doing this. We start by doing a little bit of due diligence with ServiceNow in this case, and the Impact product. And that gets us ready for the customer interviews. In this case, we ended up interviewing 7 organizations using Impact with 7 different decision makers. And from the interviews, we developed a financial model for what is called a representative organization or a composite organization. And our analyst, Julie, actually played a critical role in the customer interviews, the modeling review, and the study review. So let's talk about who we interviewed. on the next slide, please. As I mentioned, there were 7. So these are the first 4 organizations. They're, of course, anonymized. That's part of the agreement that we have with them. I guess the things that I would point out are there was a breadth of industries covered. So we're not surprised to see that because that's what ServiceNow does. You will note that these are relatively medium to larger organizations, revenues going from just about 2 billion to 100 billion, employees ranging from 4,500 to 750,000. So obviously, both ServiceNow products and the Impact solution scales for a wide range of organization size. And 5 of the interviewed organizations were using the advanced option of Impact, while 2 were using the total. And thank you, Mika. These final 3 organizations basically just show again additionally all the geographies that were covered. The individuals, if you sort of looked at the first slide and the next, ranged from ServiceNow platform owners to senior level enterprise services directors, most with hands-on managerial experience with ServiceNow platform. And it's noteworthy, of course, to point out that each of these organizations was using multiple products from ServiceNow. And unfortunately, I'm going to use a word product and application interchangeably. I know that in the ServiceNow world, because there are applications developed within products, that may sound confusing. But when I use application, I'm going to be referring to specific products, like examples being ITSM, etc. Okay. Let's start with one of the quotes. And as I say, this is the sort of voice of the customer that's sprinkled throughout the TEI study. This one is from one of the leading providers of computing technology. I'm not going to read it, but basically, given the amount of scale, Impact pays back twice what we invest in it. So that's pretty strong and solid endorsement. So one of the things we go about in the study, next slide, please, is sort of try and understand the prior environment. We go through this sort of customer journey. What were you doing before and what are you doing now? Now, of course, in this case, they did not choose from a competitive solution to come here. This is existing ServiceNow users who might have had most likely all of them had the prior services product. But this is different, right? As Mika explained, it's a value acceleration platform. So, this was more about how these customers could get more value from their overall ServiceNow platform. You can see the 4 main bullets here, but for me, the accompanying quote gets to the crux of the issue: close the value gap, taking full advantage of existing capabilities. And next slide, please. So I touched upon this notion of this composite organization. It's not an average of the companies we interviewed. It's a representative organization that would help us sort of profile the benefits that accrue. And then it's up to the reader, yourself and the audience here, to be able to sort of scale to what your organization may be. So for the purposes of this study, we constructed a composite that is a global B2B organization with 4 billion in annual revenue and 20,000 employees. That gives us a base of sort of being able to say, okay, what are the benefits that we can quantify? We made some assumptions about the staffing that would support the platform and the developers building applications on the Now platform, ServiceNow platform. It's important to note here that these professionals that we quantified here would not be exclusively utilized for ServiceNow platform. They would have other roles as well. And one of the things that I would note in building the model that we like to do is basically say, okay, when you adopt Impact or a new product, this is not from the interviews, it's much Forrester assumption, you're not going to get the full value in the first year. So it's 80% in the first year, 90% in the second year, and 100% by year 3. So that way, that sort of a way for us to couch how the benefits build up. In terms of some of the other key assumptions we made to build a financial model, we created a narrative, right? After all, this is a study, but then when we're building the model, there has to be this composite and there's a story with the composite. And the narrative is that the composite has been using ITSM already. Coming into year one, they start using ITOM, not start deploying, but using it. Coming into year two, App Engine, and year three, HRSD. So we picked some applications, products. It could be others, but this was just to sort of build the story. And the other assumption we said is the value realized across the enterprise and across this composite specifically from each ServiceNow product is about $2.5 million per year for a 20,000 person organization. We base this not out of just sort of guessing, but on numbers that we have at Forrester come up with in prior TEI studies. Actually, much larger numbers. We scaled it to the size of the composite, and we scaled it back by 40% to be conservative. So just want to mention that there is some historical basis based on studies that we've done on individual products from ServiceNow in the past. Another assumption is that each new major upgrade, and we believe that there may be many, but that there are 2 major upgrades a year, that each new major upgrade deployed by the composite results in an incremental 7% of annual platform value of that 2.5 million. So again, that's based on prior studies. So before I discuss the key findings, another quote from a customer who is one of the top 3 customers of ServiceNow, actually. What is the price tag for less disruption to our business? And, you know, it's things like that that sort of resonate and say, okay, some large customers are relying heavily on and have found great value from Impact. Okay, the next slide is where I'd like to just sort of talk about. So we identified 4 major benefits in the TEI studies that we quantified for the composite. So beyond the ROI and the dollar values of the benefits, which may seem abstract, are sort of the metrics, the efficiency and productivity metrics that drive the dollar values. And as you read the report, you will likely find that these metrics are things that you can use to better relate to your particular organization. So for example, Impact drives faster time to value for new ServiceNow products, 20% higher compared to without Impact. I used Impact twice in that sentence. With Impact, you're able to extract 24% more value out of your overall ServiceNow platform by year 3. And employee productivity, end user productivity improves by north of 11% with Impact. The operations team supporting the ServiceNow platform can generate cost savings of more than 12%. So I think these are, in terms of the percentages and all, metrics that you can take home with you. And whether you want to say, well, okay, well, this is a 20,000 person firm and we're a 100,000 person firm, maybe we need to scale it. You're welcome to try and scale it. But I think the percentages probably still pan out. Before we go to the analysis of the benefits, I'm doing well on time, Mika? I think so. From a regional healthcare services provider, we get more value out of what we already have, accelerating our initiatives and making them actionable. So now let's talk about the first benefit, benefit A in our model. So the first quantified benefit is how much incremental value is extracted when one deploys a new ServiceNow product during the first year of deployment. Because we've already said we're going to make a case for extracting value throughout. So this is about the first year for a new product. Before incorporating Impact, there was generally a longer learning curve for users, largely due to limited internal resources. With the capabilities of Impact and the squad that comes with it, interviewees were able to deliver solutions faster. This is encapsulated by the quote says, we're 15 to 20% faster than we were prior to Impact. Next slide, please. Rest assured, I'm not going to go through the spreadsheets and this one or the other ones in detail. You probably cannot even read it, but let me try and sort of break it down into assumptions and metrics. Recall the assumption that the value extracted from any ServiceNow application is 2.5 million per year. So we extend that to saying, okay, that's also applicable for the first year. And we only include that value realized in the first year. So even though this composite adds a new application or product each year, we're only taking that first year value, so we're not double counting, right? You see it 2.5 million each year. And the key metric, as noted earlier, is that Impact customers told us, interviewees told us, Impact enables 21% faster time to value for new applications. Now, that wasn't one number that people gave. So people gave us ranges. We came up with sort of an average. And then A3 adjusts for the effectiveness ramp. I, again, don't want to get too much in the weeds here. For the composite, therefore, that adds one new ServiceNow product each year to a total of 4 by year 3. This benefit yields just under 1 million in present value. Now, again, the 1 million in present value probably doesn't mean too much, but I'm just trying to give you a little bit of perspective. Relating back to the metrics that matter, what would 21% faster time to value for each new product mean for your organization? It's a rhetorical question. So next, benefit B. So the second benefit we quantified was, and it was the largest in terms of dollars, is about how much more value is extracted from the overall ServiceNow platform. So before incorporating Impact, organizations were challenged with the complexity of their overall platform, with an accumulation of unused or underutilized capabilities. Some might call it tech debt. Some may not like to use that term, but basically repeated conversations in those interviews were like, we have all this stuff and we don't really utilize it fully. With Impact and the squad, again, I'm not trying to distinguish them, interviewees have access to training, best practices, experts, people who are actually going to be able to say, this is what we've seen with other customers, sort of being able to relay that knowledge. And this is sort of echoed in the quote, absolutely seeing 20% or more value from Impact. So as I dive down into this benefit in the next slide, using the same assumption that the value extracted for any ServiceNow application is 2.5 million each year, but now we're looking at the overall platform, so it's cumulative. But we don't include the first year. So for example, when ITOM comes in, we already accounted for the first year of ITOM in year 1. We included now year 2 and year 3 only. Again, we just don't want to overstate the benefit. And the key metric, again, is that Impact enables users, customers to extract more value from the platform. For the composite, that ends up with 4 products by year 3. This benefit is over $2 million in present value. Relating back to the metrics that matter, what would extracting 24% more value from your installed ServiceNow platform mean for your business? On to benefit. Oh, no, it's a quote. So I'll apologize. I might have overdone it with the quotes that I've included because they're also in the study. But as I noted earlier, the TEI does aim to bring out the voice of the customer. This one is from the enterprise platform leader for a state government that has basically deployed ServiceNow and Impact across all their agencies, for example. Tons of value. enables us to sustain the health of our ServiceNow platform, which is a great segue into the next benefit. The third benefit is about improved end user productivity as opposed to the support team, which will be the final benefit. So before Impact, productivity for end users was challenged by longer upgrade cycles and platform health. As part of the Impact package, I think for any one of the options, Mika and team can correct me if I'm wrong, the SLAs, I think they gradiate, but the SLAs for P1 incidents improved, reducing MTTR by 35%. So just for P1 incidents, we didn't go into P2 and P3. We just said, okay, these are priority incidents. Customers told us because of the promised SLAs, they were able to reduce MTTR by 35%. Also, the interviewees who were typically doing one, maybe two major upgrades a year, partly because of the time it took to test, do regression testing, and then deploy these upgrades. They were only doing one a year. So there was a bunch of them only doing one a year. We were able to see the upgrade time reduced by nearly 60% with Impact. Now, that sounds like a lot. It doesn't quantify into as big just because that happens over a short period of the year, but nonetheless worthy of mentioning because a number of interviewed customers mentioned it. The accompanying quote states that the improved SLAs across all priority levels was one of the reasons one of the top 3 European regional banks signed up for Impact. So if I go into the next, the sort of breakdown of this, the first, this is even more many more lines of Excel. The first section deals with the productivity update for end users for major product upgrades. Even though there's this, as I said, big reduction percentage, the overall dollar impact is small because we modeled 1 upgrade a year going to 2 upgrades a year. The productivity impact on faster P1 response times is the larger or the meaningful value of this benefit. Combining these, we basically arrive at the key metric that of nearly 12% productivity improvement for end users due to Impact. That's pretty good. And then finally, benefit D. So this speaks to the productivity gains for the support staff. The staff supporting the ServiceNow platform. Before Impact, these organizations were having to use fairly well-compensated IT ops and DevOps professionals for maintaining and developing applications on the ServiceNow platform. I mean, one of the things I heard from speaking to these professionals was these are among the most hard to hire and expensive professionals. So as noted in the quote and reiterated by several interviewees, the 15 to 20% cost reduction is not from reducing staff, but by redeploying them for higher value-added work. This is not a way for a CFO or a bean counter to say, let me do a reduction in force. This is to basically say, let's deploy this expensive and valuable workforce to do better stuff. That was my formal. Let me explain this one more level deeper, Mika. So in the interest of time, I'm going to summarize the 2 components here, right? The first is what we spoke about, the ability to do more with less. Basically, Impact lowers the cost of platform support FTEs by more than 12% by year 3. The second, which happens to be a smaller component, but deals with the productivity of the support staff for major upgrade testing and deployment, as I mentioned earlier. And with that, to the next slide, in the interest of time, we skipped over. I really urge you to look at the study because it does have a whole page that talks about the voice of the customer. It also has unquantified benefits that we were not able to quantify that are still important. And link to the study. Somebody will provide that. So in terms of wrapping up my section, we will continue to invest in Impact going forward as it continues to provide value for us. Seems like a fair deal. And with that, I shall turn it over to Matt Honk.
All right. Thank you so much, Erich. Apologies, everyone, earlier. I had a very well-timed power outage, but I made it. I'm here. Hello, everyone. I'm Matt Hong, a product manager here at ServiceNow, and I'm really excited today to share a quick demo of Impact. First, let me introduce you to a fictitious company that we set up for this demo, Scale Now. They're a global logistics company led by their CIO, Lara Povey. The CIO has a new initiative focusing on transforming the customer experience as well as increasing employee productivity. This initiative is supported by her platform owner, Jackie Gutierrez. And so we're going to take a look at how she uses Impact to successfully execute on Lara's vision. So let's see if we can see, everyone should be able to see the screen now, but Jackie starts her day at the Impact homepage, which is what we're looking at right here. This is a single pane of glass for personalized value acceleration. At the very top, she reviews the key activities and deliverables that need her immediate attention. Scrolling down further, she reviews the business objectives and initiatives that are going to support her value journey. She notices this one on the very bottom here, which is increasing employee productivity, exactly what the CIO is looking towards. This will be a big goal for the company that will require all hands on deck and includes an array of ServiceNow products from ITSM, HR, SAM, and more. Scrolling down further, Jackie can also review her Impact entitlements. Aside from helping manage her value journey, Impact also includes valuable resources like advisory sessions, which are expert-led workshops where Jackie can ask ServiceNow technical experts on best practices to achieve their goals. Accelerators, which are fixed scope offerings to help accelerate the ServiceNow journey, such as design reviews or maturity assessments, as well as learning credits to help Jackie receive tailored guidance, skills, and expertise at the right time. It looks like she has a handful of learning credits that are expiring soon, and these can be used for certifications and courses to help upskill her team on the ServiceNow platform. The Impact homepage also includes personalized recommendations for Jackie, including training to amplify her expertise as a platform owner. ServiceNow Impact leverages AI to provide future guidance here. So all the activity that Jackie takes on the platform will train the personalization engine to further refine future recommendations for her. As we scroll back up towards the top on the right-hand side here, Jackie can also get a quick snapshot into the status of all her recommended ServiceNow capabilities that will accelerate her company's path to value. This is across all the products that her company has purchased. On the top here, platform health is also top of mind for platform owners such as Jackie. With a healthy platform, she can push innovation to her users with confidence. Right from the homepage, Jackie can monitor her instance health, so she can see those key metrics and track trends across all the instances that she currently manages. If she needs any support or has any specific questions, she can initiate a conversation with her Impact squad to quickly receive the support that she needs. She has access to this entire Impact squad. These are technical and success experts from ServiceNow that will help guide her through her ServiceNow journey. Lastly, on the top right here on the homepage, Jackie reviews the Impact Foundation section. This is what makes Impact such an exciting value proposition for our clients. We've analyzed thousands of customer engagements, which enable us to create this step-by-step operating system that you see here that helps customers deliver maximum value in the shortest time possible. With Impact Foundations, Jackie knows where her company is in the value journey. Now that Jackie has a good sense as to how her ServiceNow journey is going, it's time to get to work. She's first going to head into the capabilities map to see the ServiceNow products that her company owns and the status of them. For the first time ever, Jackie has a clear view into all of her ServiceNow entitlements across different products. She specifically can see what has been adopted and is in use, what's currently being implemented, what's not yet been adopted or is in planning. This will help her identify new capabilities that will further support the CIO's vision. As you can see, her company owns lots of different ServiceNow products across different functions, such as creator workflows, technology workflows. Jackie knows that ITSM is going to be a big part of her personal initiative, but there's still a lot of unknowns for her. For example, what metrics should she use to measure her success? That's where value blueprints come in. Value blueprints are a tried and tested methodology to understand, track, and measure what customers want to achieve. In this self-service experience, Jackie can select the ServiceNow products that she owns. For example, in this case, ITSM. Let's give this a second here. Refresh. There we go. For example, ITSM. We click Save and Continue. Impact will then recommend business objectives, operational outcomes, and success metrics tied to these products. She can handpick any of these, like, for example, this one on optimizing incident contact channels, which she knows is a top of mind for her CIO. You can easily select and choose the metrics that you see here. It's been a few months, so we're going to fast forward a little bit, and the team has been hard at work. Let's check in and see how they can track their progress with business KPIs. Through Impact, Jackie can easily see their KPIs for their business objectives. She has this single view into all the metrics she is currently measuring, split up by those business objectives on the top here. Let's take a look at increased employee productivity. As we can see here, they have two outcomes that they're currently tracking for: reducing disruption from incidents by duration, as well as by volume. She can quickly review what products are associated with each one of these outcomes, as well as the goal and how the company is faring for this quarter. To dig in deeper, she can also look at the overall trend over time and sees that they're reaching their goals for this outcome. Now, what if Jackie wanted to see how a specific product like ITSM was performing? Well, that's what business value is for. So Jackie dives into a value report for the product that she owns. So for example, in this case, ITSM, we can take a look here. And it seems with their investment in ITSM, Jackie's company has generated over $5 million in value across these three business objectives that we see here. From here, we can break this down by initiative to see exactly how the business value is calculated. You can see those same outcomes pop up right here. Jackie gives herself a round of applause and is ready to share kudos with the rest of the team for their great work towards this objective. Now, this is just a quick sneak peek into how Jackie and platform owners of the world's top companies are leveraging ServiceNow Impact today to accelerate their time to value and increase their overall ROI from their investment in ServiceNow.
So we do host these monthly webinars. Be sure to register for our next one that you're going to be able to find using the QR code on the left here. Second, if you have not already heard about it, ServiceNow has a customer event. It is our flagship event every year in May, and typically in Las Vegas, like it is this year, May 7th to 9th. We would love for you to join us there. Click on or just scan to this QR code to go to the link where you can find out more information about it. And then finally, we would love it if you join the Impact community on the ServiceNow community. That's where you're going to find today's recording as well as upcoming events. You can ask questions and engage on the Impact community forum at that link in that QR code. Oh, before we go, funny, I can't seem to get this stay on this correct screen here. I'm trying to show the Impact, sorry, never mind, the knowledge slide. However, it is forcing me to go to the last one. For knowledge information, please go to that previous link that you saw here in the middle for knowledge. For some reason, I can't get the knowledge slide to show up. But thank you so much for joining our webinar today. We do hope that you enjoyed the content, got some value out of it, and are able to share the information that you learn with other folks in your organization. So thanks as well to Erich and to Matt for their participation today. Really, really wonderful demo, Matt, and super useful and detailed presentation from Erich. So thank you so much to Forrester. Thanks to all of you for joining us today, and I hope you guys have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thanks all.